everyone, Elise Smith here. Welcome back to the Socially Awesome channel. I am so excited to be bringing you episode 3 of our branding series for January. So we're going to go ahead and just jump in and say, if you didn't listen to episode 1 and 2, no matter if it was on YouTube or the podcast, you're going to want to go back and hear it again, okay? Because it's all building upon each other and leading up to our free Becoming a Brand Boss Challenge that's going to be held in Socially Awesome Entrepreneurs. You can find the link to that in the show notes wherever you're watching, and make sure you get registered. It's completely free. It's a 3-day challenge. It's going to help you become a brand boss and nail your personal brand 2023. If you're not getting clients or attracting your ideal client to you through your content, something's wrong in your brand imaging, your brand perception, your brand identity, and we need to do discovery and nail that for you. So make sure that you're listening to all of these episodes in the series and that you're registered for our free challenge. So let's go ahead and just dive in. Today is all about brand image. So what is brand image? Simple definition of brand image can be your customer's perception of your brand based on their interactions, their experiences, their beliefs of what your brand could be. So you have to know that it's important that your brand can be perceived differently by different customers based on their backgrounds, their beliefs, their religion, their culture. So this can be a huge task and a huge risk for branding for different businesses. So what is the importance of the brand image? Every company strives to build a strong image as it helps you in fulfilling your business motives. So a strong brand image can have the following advantages. So it could be more profits as a customer are attracted to a brand, easy to introduce new products under a brand. It could boost the confidence of existing customers and helps in retention. It can build better customer relationships. So a company brand image may struggle to operate, and it might not be able to launch a new product under the same brand if they don't have good relationships with their customers. So it's important to nail all of this down. And as we've said in several of the episodes, branding is so much more than just pictures and fonts and colors, and that's important. I do not want to say that's not important, but it's a lot more than that. So I'm going to give you some examples today that will help you understand what gives rise to your brand image, okay? Companies spend a lot of time and effort and resources in building their identity, right? So their personality, they might work with influencers, they might experience images in their brand that might not help their brand, right? So you've all had that user-generated content or seen that user-generated content that will deter people from your brand. This is important to know that all of that has to do with your imaging, okay? So I'm gonna give you some examples of brand images, like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is a brand that is known for a product best used at happiness and joy. You always see people sipping the Coke and they're smiling, right? It's a unique taste. It's that original old nostalgic feeling when you see their branding, right? They're really good at nailing that down. McDonald's has an image of food that's quick. It's inexpensive. You all remember Ronald McDonald, but she's gone away. But it really spoke to the children because you've got the kids in the background or the back of the car screaming. They're hungry. We got to get something in their stomach quick, right? So it was family friendly. It was family affordable. That's part of their imaging. Walmart is known for retail selling goods for less price than normal. So you remember the rollback, right? We're going to roll prices back lower than any of our competitors. We're going to be the most family-friendly retailer, most inexpensive place for you to get your groceries, get your necessities, your toiletries, all of the things. But then you think about those premium brands like Rolls-Royce, right? They're considered to be exclusive for the wealthy and the influential people. And you're not going to see kids in the back and their French fries on the Rolls-Royce commercial. You're just not, right? So that is important for you to know that that's all part of their imaging. That's important for you to think about with your own imaging, okay? So what is your brand image versus your brand identity? Because last episode, we talked brand identity and how the company portrays itself to its customers, how it's important for the brand and the customers to perceive it. Brand imaging, on the other hand, is how customers actually perceive the brand. So the company has less control over its image, unfortunately, and it always has to strive to align the image with the identity. confusing, right? I get it. So let's walk through it a little bit. So the indication of an image is the customer's perception of the brand. So again, I perceive when I see a woman in her minivan and the kids in the background and they're crying, "Mom, we're so hungry." They're leaving the baseball field and they pull into a McDonald's and there's nothing on there that says it's inexpensive. There's nothing on there that says it's quick. But I'm perceiving through what I know as a mother, okay, if I got 5 kids in the back, it's got to be inexpensive because this mom's driving a minivan. So she's not driving a Rolls Royce. So it's got to be inexpensive. It's got to be affordable. It's got to be quick because then at the end of the commercial, you see the kids smiling and happy and, so that's what I perceived from what I know about the images that I saw. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Identity is something that we can fully control. So how we identify ourselves. So like I said, you might see this through Rolls Royce and the premium and the luxury and how I present the identity of, my commercials and you seeing what you see in that commercial or what identifies that brand, their symbolism, the colors that they use, the sleekness of their logo. Those are things they can control. And I still perceive that from what they can control, but someone else might perceive it differently, right? So a wealthy person that might drive a Rolls Royce might not perceive it the same way as a person who doesn't have the money to pay for one. So that is something you have to make sure you're very careful with, that you don't put anything out there that's going to be perceived super negatively or offensively based on what you have out there. So again, it is not always necessary that images form out of interactions and experiences with the brands, but there are times where prospective customers form an image of the brand in their mind after reading news articles about the brand, watching influencers talk about the brand, watching commercials or identity images that the brand puts out. So it's very important for you to understand, what do you want your brand image to look like? What do you want a customer to perceive of your brand? Okay, so I could say that someone would perceive my brand as assertive and bold and a little more pricey than the alternative, because I am very confident in my pricing. I don't, when I talk about my pricing, I posture up. I'm not going to say, well, it's discounted today only for the next hour. I don't usually discount my time. I might throw in bonuses or things that will help people or incentivize people to make a decision, take action, because I love working with action takers. But you're not going to see me discount my time because I value my time. You're also going to see my brand might be perceived for someone as engaging, because I often put out engaging content, and you just have to think about those things. So it's very hard, but the one really good way to nail down your branding image and think about it is poll your audience. Ask them, when you think about my brand, when you think about me, and if you are your brand, which my brand has a name, Socially Ausome, but I am the face of that brand, do a poll. Ask your audience, what do you think about when you see my content? Or what 3 words come to mind when you think about me? And this will give you an idea of how your customers and your audience are perceiving your brand and maybe where you need to tweak it. Okay, so I hope this helps. I hope you got value out of this episode. As always, make sure you take a screenshot of wherever you're watching this, put it in your stories, tag me, Elise Wynn Smith. You can find that in the show notes below as well. Make sure you tag me. I do share it in front of my audience. That's one of the best ways to grow your own audience, is to leverage other people's audiences. But I also do a drawing every single month and give away gift cards for people who help share our brand out. So make sure you do that. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're watching this as well, on YouTube or podcast, or you're following us on Facebook, you're in our community, because we do have an entire series this month around branding. So you're not going to want to miss it. So as always, make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome. Bye, y'all.